Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Jaraci Cup 6 Bonanza. Gonna be, what is it? Me! Look at this! Playing Galzian against Orbnet's coalition here. Orbnet, of course, the lower seed, because, I think I went out in semis last tournament, I think in, like, semifinals D, so... Orbnet picks coalition first, I pick Galzian, and he picks the Boneyard for game 1. Obviously a map that he's been playing quite a lot. Definitely seems to enjoy it. I think every series that the opponent hasn't picked Boneyard, he has picked Boneyard, so that definitely is a bit telling. It looks like it's going to be a bit of an assault ship rush for me here, so you can see one guy on RUs here, no salvagers being produced, since Sandskimmer Fab going to be the priority instead. And then we obviously get assault ship Fab at the fastest possible timing. It's about 29-22 or so. You can probably get it at 25 if you really try hard, but you know, I'm not that good. As for Orbnet, what's it going to be? I think a little bit of an in-between build, actually. I'm not sure how I think about this, because it's LAV Fab coming out here, but obviously he's not rushing into some kind of tech, because otherwise this would be coming out a lot faster. Generally, he really enjoys playing Eco, that's what I've noticed. So I wonder if he's going to try to just like get some LAVs to like defend and then go for a sport cruiser, which is definitely a build that you don't want to do if your opponent is going ref mode, but it's not a bad read against me to suggest that I'm not going to play Eco, right? Obviously, like I said, this is Orbnet's pick, but I feel pretty comfortable with this map too. If I had the other spawn, I think for sure I'd be going Rails here, just because, you know, this hill, but... 5 LAV into SC is pretty good versus ref mode. You are probably correct. You are Discar after all. No, go ahead. It's actually pretty good to get dissenting opinions, because otherwise I believe everything that I say. First assault ship is on the way now. Thoughts on making a bracket in between the upper and the lower bracket? Well, I think it's probably better at this like level of, like, if we get, let's say, like 64 people in the Jaraci Cup, yeah, we probably would go like 3 brackets or something, but and then maybe call the middle one like the Challengers bracket or something like that. But I just don't think we have quite the players for it yet. Pretty decent trade being taken there, just 1 for 0. Do take some damage on the skim, but that's not going to be a big problem, of course. Hashtag Galzian OP, am I right? Look at that self-healing. His sustain in lane is just such BS. Obviously, we do have armor 1 here. Rail Fab going to be finishing now for Orbnet. He's also got the carry production queued up, which is actually kind of interesting to see, because I think he probably wants to... I don't know, Discara is the resident coalition main here, but I think Orbnet probably wants to stay on 1 production line, if I'm not mistaken. But he can confirm or deny that for us. But yes, that is a very fast Rail Fab. Now obviously, if you know the play here, I don't really want to like commit in to get kills on his main, as I always used to do, even just a couple months ago. Instead, I really want to play this just for like the pressure. Basically say, like, if you don't, you know, defend, I'm gonna just kill you. So as a result, you have to defend, I don't, I'm gonna get ref mode, I'm gonna be on much faster eco than you. Usually 3 assault chips is a pretty good number here. If you can clear the natural, yeah, that's the big thing. But obviously I'm a little worried about like his kill here. This is one reason why I go for assault chips with this spawn. I think he's gonna have a bit of trouble clearing off the second base. We may lose an assault chip here. I think, like, let's say like Orb had the other spawn and I was doing assault chips, I think this would work really well actually. Also, look at this pro micro, OMG. Actually, I just realized now that I'm like freaking killing him here. He probably will get, yeah, he'll get that one. But ref mode's starting. Check the units lost tab. I'm obviously pretty far ahead in that metric already. Let alone, you know, I have obviously this great pressure now on his eco. So this is a really strong open. Like, obviously, this is exactly where you want to be when you play this type of build. And we didn't build the second skim anyway, so we actually already have got like slots to fill out this main base here, or second base, which is really nice. And of course, we also know that his carrier hasn't left the main. And one thing that you want to watch out for when you play AS first is that sometimes, like, When you play AS first, sometimes your opponent will just carrier rush you off the back of it. So you're coming back and getting eco, thinking you're playing for the long game, and then just all of a sudden you'll die. So you definitely want to be watching for it, but obviously we have vision on the carrier, we know what's going on, and this skimmer here, you know, giving pretty good coverage just in case something had like slipped by. Well, I wonder if it works as like a bit of a blind counter to like assault chip openers. That's what I've been seeing, like, because he's been playing this, like, I think when you go rails first, you really lose tempo, right? But he's been playing it into assault chip first openers, and this time it didn't seem to work out for him, but I've actually seen it be, like, pretty decent when he played it against No Fun. And who else did he... I think he did this against A Game as well, although I'm pretty sure he lost that game. But I don't think it had to do with the opener. AV Fab on the way now for Orbnet. I'm going to tech into interceptors. Of course, like I've been saying so much during this like kind of round of casting, anytime you're ahead, you know, air is a really nice tech. But you can play this with rails as well. And I am ahead, of course. If it was Discara casting, I would like quit the game here and then like check what the mining was, but yeah, that's the thing. I think it's really going to be bad against Revenue, because you don't really have tempo when you do that. Like, you're going to die to skims, right, which is just like a tier 1 tech, so I don't know, it's an interesting kind of idea. Oh, look at the greed. So third PC is actually already queued up here. That is going to slow down how many ints we get out, just by a little bit, but I just want to get up on a third base as fast as I can. Of course, Rail's pretty good at defending, so he's not going to like lose any bases here, but I trust no one when it comes to resources, least of all myself. Classic. It just means you know yourself well, right? I keep trying to like look and see if there's some damage that I can get done here, but I don't really need it. I mean, I feel like the damage is kind of already been done. Like, I just kind of want to hold in here, and if there's one thing I've learned from chess, greed is never punished. Yes, certainly never, especially not when Bozo is playing. But we're like on track to get up onto a third base. Obviously, this assault chip here is giving us some really nice vision, obviously, on our opponent's third base. What we want to see is like... Oh yeah, I do play chess. What we want to see is like, is he on third base or not? And if he isn't, then we can feel pretty comfortable being pretty chill, just like going up to eco, because we know that we're ahead here. If he's on third base already, we want to punish, because it means he's not going to have many railguns. Support cruiser comes out. That's going to be No Fun's third. So he'll look to set that up now. Of course, I did mention though, when I go for this like third PC before I start making the air units, I slow myself down a little bit. And so, possibly you can stream chess games versus me. Well, it's tempting, I've got to say. Actually, let's hold the phone though. There's a bit of action going on here. I'm actually just going to overrun the rail there, but it looks like he's got enough to clean this up. That's probably worth it for me, but he doesn't lose his base, so he's going to be okay with that. He gets up on the third base now. The thing is, I slow down my air timing, obviously, when I go for that third PC. And if you look at No Fun, he's got actually already missile battery fab done. So, like, he could have had the counter to air out on the field already, so... Oh, did I say No Fun? Orbnet, you know what I'm saying. So there's kind of questions. Maybe what I should have done was instead left the assault chips there, like not gone in until I had come out and cleared the railguns with my interceptors. But I am going to get some good poke in right here. This is going to be a little tasty. When interceptors miss all their targets, right? Sometimes it really do just be like that. Anyway, the assault chip forces him to react with some railguns. I just get another pick there for free. And then this is always kind of an odd transition for me, because I love to go teching wide, but I also kind of want to use this carrier, even though that means probably not that much carrier power, but we'll see. This is definitely not my strength moving into the mid game. This is kind of tend to be where I have like the most bozo throw moments, so we'll see how that goes. Missile batteries are out now. So I didn't manage to do any eco damage, although there is actually maybe a bit of a window right here where I could come in and kill a salvager or something, but I couldn't know that, obviously. Hindsight is 20/20. Oh, indeed I do. In fact, there it is. Building a base runner in this scenario is really, really good, because anytime you have field control, you want to be looking at getting the artifacts out. Should be doing something with them RUs, I agree. Probably taking carrier power here. I mean, honestly, I don't even need rails, right? But I'm just such a rail player. I'm like hard-coded to like get rails anytime that I can. This assault ship here is kind of a bit of a throwaway. Indeed. Base runners be good, man. I want to get some picks here with the interceptors, but it doesn't look very likely. Actually, I'm not sure about docking it. It might be a bit of a mistake. But here again, we have a nice window into the main base. So he's gonna have to pull off the line there. No, their armor 1. How to trigger Discara. Look, man, I'm not like made of money, okay? LAVs are getting interested here. Obviously they can do this because of Sunder, but it's risky because they do take just a lot of damage from these assault ships. Yeah, I know. I probably should have this upgrade. That's where my RUs could have gone to. Anyway, I think a little bit of bad unit control there, though. I probably wanted to hold like on this side of the dune and like trade out with the LAVs, because I think I have a lot of damage on them there. But here's a couple more free railguns. This always happens, guys, when you're playing. When you're playing and your opponent has got air, you get anti-air, right? But just remember, these units are kind of slow. You need to not move out unless you have the anti-air units with you. Really important to not just like get picked like that. Because if you look at the units lost tab here, it's going to be pretty good for me. Obviously, rail is very expensive on RUs. I haven't lost any interceptors yet, and you can see that ticks up. I mean, that's like a lot of units lost at that point. Yeah, actually, I was mentioning, I think when I go for this, because like, what has this carrier really gotten me? Not a whole lot, right? So obviously, we could have had air out a little bit faster. We could have had a bit more carrier power and stuff if we were actually still on 2 PC instead of 3. So it's definitely a stylistic choice, but I think I tend to be a little bit too greedy in that sense. Like I want to get that 3rd PC out so I can unlock that carrier. But who's winning, you ask? Well, it's probably still me. Obviously, just in terms like if you had to ask me which army I prefer on the field, it's probably the green one, just because of that air. But like, obviously this is so many LAVs, like there is threats on the field against me, so I can't be complacent in this game, but I do think that I'm ahead. My ability to harass his eco is just really, really strong, and at this point I can actually probably look for like all-ins as well, so I don't want to throw AS though. Of course, it's especially bad because if these two die, like maybe we lose these railguns to the LAVs, right? In fact, one of them does go down there. Yeah, they're expensive. These LAVs just gonna go like flying across the map. Wants to just kill this base runner, of course. I'm gonna try to defend it as best I can, but this is probably already dead. That's a real Omaewa moment. Oh, but the rails really need to not be undefended here. It's weird my rails are not shooting my opponent's railguns there. It's a bit of a mistake. Heal gets popped just to buy a bit of time. Get to actually dump interceptor missiles on the LAVs, which I'm usually not a big fan of, but you'll notice that they definitely stop moving after they kill the PC there, so most of the missiles manage to land anyway. Oh, and he picked up this artifact too, so that's actually quite bad for me. Because obviously if I was on like 3 out of 5 right now instead of 1, you know, that's a big deal, right? So definitely kind of like overcommitting these assault ships to like defend when I didn't really need to, but I did get a lot of his LAVs kind of chunked out, and that's definitely going to add up. Galzian Siege is done now. First one's coming out onto the field momentarily. That's obviously going to be nice because my opponent has got railguns, so I want to trade against them. By the way, still no mag excel from him, so if I had like realized that, I'm sure I'd be looking for the all-in a little bit earlier here. Units lost is still pretty well in my favor by about 1,000 CUs and like 400 RUs. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and I can sort of tell as well because obviously I can like I know how many picks I've gotten with these areas. This is a throw, huh? Okay, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. This is a pretty tasty barrage here, but we're actually losing rails in this exchange because he's got armored 3 and I don't think I have any armor at all. Oh, and now actually we're in a bit of a rout here all of a sudden. This is kind of complex here. Because obviously Siege is so good at trading against rails, but like we don't have the rail force of our own, and we're not really going to be able to get much done there. I definitely prefer the Galzian carrier to the Coalition one though. It's pretty ballsy of him to move out like this. But this Siege Cruiser unfortunately is probably forfeit. Something's going on over on this flank. I also don't know how the Salvager ended up here. I want to go for a bit of a backstab too, and it looks like I'm going to get it. Oh my gosh, the Siege Cruiser's still alive. But this is a lot of freaking railguns here. Still no mag excel though. And I've criticized so many players already for going after the support cruiser instead of salvagers, but this is exactly why. So learn from my mistakes. Do not make them yourself. Power 4 on the way for me now. So if you look at the units lost, all of a sudden it looks pretty much like it's all of a sudden in his favor. So definitely a bit of a throw there. Like I said, the mid game, this is always where I have problems. This is where the Bozo throw meme comes from. Definitely, if we had teched railgun armor, I think if we had teched railgun armor, we probably would have won that fight, because he didn't even have mag excel yet. So, what's the reason players don't grab mag excel? None. Yeah, before the rail fight starts, you want to have mag excel for sure. That's like a must-have, because obviously like the damage is not like that huge anymore. It's much higher in like vanilla, I think, but it's still a really important tech to have. Yeah, it's true, it's expensive, but like, the value that you get from having, like, let's say 2 more railguns versus the value you get from having mag excel, which is like somewhat equivalent resources, it's different because it's like CUs versus RUs, but obviously like when you have this many railguns, mag excel is very, very valuable, so. So, I mean, definitely I would say, like, once you have the capability to get mag excel, you should be doing it. Also, this is a tad awkward. I like rotated the carrier quite wisely, trying to like launch my interceptors out of harm's way, but then like the siege cruiser popped out right in the middle of it. Doesn't get punished for that, so we're gonna be just okay. Now, obviously, I want the carrier to protect the railguns primarily, but there's a bit of a danger in here, in that, you know, if I ever like power down the weapons, maybe we just die all of a sudden. So I definitely need to be watching that. And this assault ship is also carrier blocked here, so this is a window that he maybe could get through and do a bit of damage. Barrages are here to like stop him from pulling out, but he actually wants to engage. He's gonna take losses here though, so the question is it worth the siege cruiser that he gets? I'm not actually sure, because once the LAVs die, all of a sudden I can breathe like this huge sigh of relief. Like, okay, we know that we win the rail fight here. If we have that siege on the way. And I mean, definitely we have high ground here as well, right? So this is kind of a good moment for me, actually. Rails with high ground, pretty good. We're gonna throw the carrier in there as well, just try and get the damage out. But definitely rail armor would work. I mean, you can see, even with high ground, he's like able to fight against me here. We're gonna throw the ints against the railguns here. Actually, maybe with a dock I could have kept them alive too, but this is awkward though. This is a tad awkward as we're gonna start carrier blocking. And actually, siege cruiser goes down on that side too. Nice flank is going on during all this, by the way. I do finally capitalize on that damage I got. Oh, that's gonna hurt. The siege cruiser barrages are like moving right through the carrier. But finally, I'm feeling good about this. I'm very cognizant of the fact that I sort of threw in the mid game. So like this is a very good moment for me. Orbnet, man, like he is scary, you know. He'll take games off of you. Like, you really gotta watch out when you play against him. Which, by the way, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think everyone already knows. We're going to be meeting each other in the semifinals, so I'm definitely going to have to kind of bring my A game on that. Because Orb is definitely not just like a pushover. Like, he's not just going to die, so. Yeah, I was power 1 on Orb's carrier. I had like 4, so. The carriers definitely were more powerful for me there. It's true, yeah, it's true. But people will forget. Let's move on to game 2, shall we? Now, in game 2, as the screen loads here, I ended up going for Soban instead. I had first pick, of course. Now, I knew that Orbnet was going to pick Soban or Coalition as well. He does indeed pick Soban. Oh boy, I write in the info.txt. That's true. I'll get on it one day, man, I swear. But anyway, this is probably a mistake. I think I'm overvaluing my Soban play right now. Like, I'm definitely weak with this faction. So I think this is a mistake. I'm generally not afraid to play mirror matchups, but like my Coalition Soban is just not really on par right now. So looking back, I don't think I would have done this again, but I definitely still can win this game. But I gotta think I'm sort of playing into No Fun or Orbnet's strengths again if I'm gonna go for like a rush, because obviously if you watch JC5, you know how it worked when he was playing Soban. You really just could not AV rush this guy. He did the same thing, by the way, so he retired the base runner, no probe. It's the Orbnet build, which I used to meme on because I thought it was bad, and then it carried him to the... I think the semi-final... No. Did it... Yeah, no, yeah, it carried him to the semifinals. This is AV Rush, my friend. Rush B, do not stop. You're thrown by this targeting jammer, you know? I don't blame you. Support cruiser is out for Orbnet. Like I said though, I feel like I'm sort of playing into his strengths by trying to AV rush him like this. Because, you know, he's well practiced in defending. Like, that's what he's good at. And so I'm kind of saying like, yeah, well, I don't think you're going to be able to defend against me, but this is my Soban. So, that's true as well. Like, obviously he's got Sunder on the carrier, right? So, I don't know. I feel like this was kind of a weak play, but you should AV Orb, you should do it off of 2 base. Yeah, I agree. That's just so much safer. Like, even if you don't get a huge amount of damage done, you're not just going to instantly lose because you don't fall behind. I definitely think that would be the play. LAV's going to scout here. We see SC first. That's fine. Of course, my mental state at this time, though, I didn't think that was a problem. Like, I was feeling pretty confident about this. But, you know, having given it a bit more thought, I think this is definitely a bit of a mistake. Sunder, be real, man. The Savant Carrier's got some serious range, you know? An entire kilometer. You know what though, Discover, from that series we learned that Soban BCs have an amazing long distance fire sound, so it was worth it, you know? Worth it for the cause. Now, we want to hide the AVs if we can, but obviously he's going to see it with these LAVs here. And frankly, he kind of knows that a rush is coming because I revealed with that LAV at the beginning. So this is probably not a huge information loss for me. The real question now, though, is how many? So it's kind of important we hide this 4th one, I think. And Orb, though, as you can see, he's already building AVs of his own. So this is the reason why, especially on Firebase, this is quite a large map. I don't really feel very confident with this rush, because obviously we're just going to get there too late. He's got one to defend. We're going to be at armor 1 first, which is nice, but we need to get damage done here, and it's not going to be easy. Maybe we get him to pull back to like 1 base at the best for a while, but SC is on the way for me now, by the way. So that is a thing. This is also kind of a bad engage though, because obviously we're 2v1 now. Smoke is out. We're going to try to pull off to the side. Maybe we can come in and like strike at the 2nd base. But he's got an AV out, which is probably going to be tasked to like defend over here. 2 of them, in fact. Yeah, if you just look at the numbers, it doesn't really look like anything's going to get done here. Obviously with Sunder as well, we can't possibly win trades around the carrier, so... Suddenly this doesn't look so good at all. Yes, he has protection 1. And he's actually teching armor first. Of course, he does have the advantage of economy, clearly, so he can do that. And we're fighting off of high ground here, which is kind of annoying. So, I mean, it looks to me like he's deflected the rush pretty easily. We are going to get 1 kill, I guess. So, we've got that. Yeah, this doesn't look terribly good. at least we are on 2 base now, so like we're behind in mining by probably, I would say, like 400 CUs or so. It's not great. It's not the worst scenario in the world, but it's definitely not great. At least we do have the tech advantage though, so he hasn't teched anything yet. We do have fighter and gunship on the way. It's going to be a really quick BC fab, so that's about 100 seconds out now. That's a very Orbnet thing to do. I like it. The question is, what is he going to do about the air? And how much damage can we get done with it? That's really the question. Fighter and gunship finishing momentarily here. He definitely has the armor up advantage though. So we can't really fight these AVs in the midfield either. High ground is kind of nice though. So we're going to get some good damage on one of these AVs, but I don't think we're ever going to be able to like fight them off. Oh my, the target fire. We nearly killed that guy because of that. That would have been a pretty sweet pickup, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna get it though. This AV just kind of runs for his life. This guy's gonna come back to heal, so we've definitely bought a bit of a window for ourselves. Now I wonder, does he click on Sport Cruiser anti-air? Because that would be really good for him, obviously. Basically I went for an AV rush, but execution wasn't great, and we definitely didn't have like the time for it because this map is pretty big, so he didn't really take any damage from it. So we're definitely on the back foot at this point. Here's a nice little spot of high ground, but I don't think we can take this trade anyway. He still has the armor advantage, and this guy's obviously pretty low. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Obviously, what we want to do, we want to come in here and get some picks on the salvagers. We can go for the SC as well, but it's usually not as powerful. I feel like only 2 of them shot there. This is pretty good splits for no fun, though. And then, obviously, if we micro these guys... Oh my gosh, no fun. Orbnet. Why do I always do that, man? That's like the classic thing. Like the whole Shrike versus Maze meme, like basically built off of that fact. Oh, I didn't finish the kill again. Okay, no, he's dead, right? Please. Okay, so that's really powerful. That's quite a nice air reveal there. And then we're gonna tech into BCs too. But I feel like that's probably a mistake. I can't exactly know though, because obviously we didn't realize that he's got BC tech done already. But like, yeah, this is just going to be very very much delayed. I think actually tactical bombers might have been the play here, and I definitely agree with that assessment. He should be killing the third base with his AVs right now. And obviously, if we hadn't traded badly, this would have been easier for us. I'm gonna say, I feel like maybe I feel like I can still beat Orbnet playing Sawan, but like I need to play probably Eco. I think that's probably where I have the strongest matchup against him. My Sawan though, definitely not my strongest faction. I used to have it as like a flex pick. That's why I'm thinking that I'm good at it, but it's been a long time since I practiced it. Yeah, but exactly, like, how are these AVs defending against air, right? And the other thing is, like, air units don't really want to waste missiles on AVs. It would be a waste, you know what I mean? So... Oof. That's pretty nice. Now, the real question is, do I scout this BC? Unfortunately, like, even if I had vision on the carrier there, I'm sure I was in sensors, so I wouldn't have seen it. Oh yeah, because obviously roaches, you know, can't defend the base against the air unit, right? So it's kind of, it's actually almost exactly the same thing in a way. I don't know, maybe roaches are more like railguns or something, right? BC Fab finishes for me as well as double base runner. Now I'm making the base runners because I want to fight a BC game, and I see that BC now. And that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But roaches are very AV-ish. Yeah. I want to make these base runners so that I can use targeting jammers to try to swing the BC fight. Obviously, targeting jammers slow units, and BCs are pretty slow already. They can't shoot at all. That's, you know, usually a pretty good thing. Ooh. Oh my gosh, did we get away with this? Yes, we got away with it. That was really bad air micro, but we didn't get punished. Anyway, so the targeting jammer is like really possible to like swing these fights. And obviously it kind of snipes the probe, which is nice as well. But we need to be careful. We need to definitely fight with the BCs here, not without them. So this is definitely a little bit dangerous here. Don't throw the targeting jammer early. Whatever you do, Bozo, don't throw the targeting jammer early. That's all I want to see for myself. I know the ALM is going to die, but don't throw it. No, he's... Oh, what the freak? Actually, you know what? These missile batteries are kind of walking into the anti-air, or the targeting jammer, that is. You can kind of dump a bit of damage here. Obviously, we're not going to die off of one pass. That's definitely a waste of targeting jammer, though, because obviously this is when we want it. The targeting jammer has such an ability to like throw these, swing these BC fights. So if we use it like that, I'm very sad. Armor 3 being teched for me, by the way, which is kind of nice. That's interesting. I think I had this BC where like one of the weapons had line of sight on the other BC and one of them didn't. These AVs are going to clean up this BC though, actually, so that's pretty fine. Look at the veterancy. Nice job, Captain. So it's 2 BCs versus 2 BCs on the field now, actually. The real pro move is to move into your own targeting jammer. Yes. That's when you know you've arriven. And we're going to go for the double extract now, real fast. But I've got to say, actually, I'm looking at this now. I'm not a big fan of my move here to like try and stop his extract, because I think actually we have some interesting threat. Just, you know, attacking onto his main base. So I kind of wish I would see myself just kind of put the BCs together and drive out onto his main. We're gonna stop the extract though, so that's definitely there. We lose 1 strike fighter for it, but I think that's kind of worth it. Yeah, resource float is freaking real. Carry production upgrade, man, it's pretty good. I should certainly be getting that. But see, now we're kind of wandering into traps here. So I think this is kind of a bit of a throw. This BC is probably already dead, to be honest. I don't think there's anything Captain Brannon can do about it. And we just need more BCs. But we don't have that production upgrade, so like Orbnet is able to just outproduce us forever, I think. Which is really messy. You hate to see it, but I think it's a Bozo throw. Because obviously we were behind in the early game, but I think we got ahead with the airplay. But I don't know. Carry production finally coming out here, but like, look, we got the resources to be triple producing. Like, why aren't we doing it already? Aye. It's unfortunate. Whoops. Units lost tab. Looks pretty good for us again. But like, this right here is gonna swing it, because obviously 2 BCs on high ground. Pretty good. Although isn't it an Orbo throw to begin with then? Yeah, I suppose it is. Smoke here. Try and buy a little bit of time, let the air units dump their damage. Was decided to GG out of this replay. Yeah, pretty much. I still want to fight this high ground though, because I'm pretty sure I can kill this guy, but like, actually I'm not so sure. Obviously this base runner comes in targeting jammer, we're gonna have a bad time. Although this flank is pretty good here. Yeah, we can't really fight these guys. Oh, it's close, man. If this targeting jammer is on that BC, this is just like free money. BC is kind of derping, but like, it's fine. Whoa. Bozo, where are you going? Okay, surely you just go into the base now, right? Well said, Castle K-Side, well said. Oh, looks like a dead BC. Oh, the targeting jammer! Oh! They're so good, man. I mean, you can't even smoke when you're under the TJ. It's bad. Oh. Yeah, that's just gonna be like a free BC kill. You can see I stuck around to try and get this BC that was low, but like, ouch. Not worth. The air units can come and get it though, at least, so we're kind of gonna cover for ourselves there. But this BC here should definitely be like pushing into the main. I guess he's got one to defend. BC does go down here. Sorry, I didn't have the camera there for a moment. It's at 4K right now, man. But this TJ is very good here. At least spam ALMs. Yeah, you can see for sure the line is broken all of a sudden now. You know what, Cookies? I've always wondered the same thing. I mean, that is to say, like, Saban Rails can hit Strike Craft too. They actually have kind of surprising accuracy against them. And by the way, this isn't going to work because we've got this BC to defend here. But at least we get this working here. We can, like, trade main for main, but, like, he's definitely got the sledgehammer to push into my second now. But yeah, like, BC's hit Strikecraft a kind of surprising amount. It's quite triggering. By the way, just listen to that sound effect of the BCs from far away. Oh man. It's so good. Oh, are you hearing that? It's just like this deep bass. Beautiful freaking unit. Anyway. It's only a pity that Saban Rails don't sound that way from far away, you know? Because I just want to hear that sound effect always. Well, at this point, I pretty much recognize that we're in dire straits here, but I have a little bit of hope in that maybe we can extract here. That's kind of the game plan now. Maybe. Obviously, we do have quite a bit of carrier power too, or teching power 3. We can't fight BCs with our carrier though, so this is definitely a good position for Orbnet. I think that's pretty safe to say. He's got like 7 BCs on the field right now. Wait, 10? Oh, it's counting mine, okay. I was like, I don't care what anyone says, that's just ridiculous. But this is a lot of freaking BCs. But I mean, we're gonna have to play for like 12 more minutes to win off of extraction. And the idea that we're gonna get another artifact out is pretty it's pretty much a fantasy at this point, right? Obviously, you know, Orb isn't just gonna fall asleep and let me do that. So this is gonna be tricky. Oh hey, we have CUs to spend. Better late than never, right? Oh boy. No comment. No comment. Double extract does come through now. But I love this move from Orbnet though. You notice how he moves these BCs out to the side because he senses what's going to happen here. So he says like, okay, so my opponent obviously wants to... He obviously wants to like play for the extractions. Let's just keep these guys over here so we can hem him in sort of. He can't get out of like this area of the map. That's exactly what he wants to do. So I think that's a very smart play there. BC's on high ground pretty good, but they have so much burst damage that like when you have the superior numbers, you can definitely win these fights. And obviously smoke stops you from dying. So BC is actually a very good unit for engaging high ground positions. And to be fair, if it was this number of rails, I would have lost anyway, but I would have at least killed a couple of them, I think. So, this is definitely, I think, what you would call a critical mass. There's 6 of them here, I mean, let alone how many there are up on this hill. There's 3 up here. Targeting jammer lands on them, it's kind of nice, but I actually maybe should be, like, saving the targeting jammer for when this carrier needs to get out. Do TJ stack? I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like it. That'd be pretty crazy if they did, dude. Oh, man. Friendly reminder that targeting jammers do not affect carriers. I want to stop seeing people say that. "10 minutes out." It's looking kind of grim here, because obviously he has time to extract these two. And the only chance we have of stopping him is if we can use these LAVs to, like, snipe the BRs. So now the carrier needs to make kind of a daring run through the BCs here. This is going to be tricky. Oh my gosh, look at this. BCs, of course, with the new changes, they're actually faster than carriers. So, I mean, technically he does have, like, a rundown potential here. But, again, like I was saying, it'd be really nice if I saved the target jammers for this moment instead. You can use that to sort of ensure the survival of, like, the carrier and everything. But we do clear out the opponent's base at least, so we've got that going for us. Now, what we really, really want to do is come in here and snipe these base runners. Oh, I've got a bit of power and armor. It's actually more like, now I'm going to switch it, but it was more valuable to have it in the weapons. See if I can get some snipes on the BCs there. And then targeting jammers to escape here is going to be nice. Yep, there we go. Maybe we keep this base runner alive. Yeah, we do. Okay, that's actually going to be pretty big. Definitely, though, I should be like triple producing support cruisers right now. One. Well, better than nothing. But yeah, these LAVs, they need to get in there and they need to start killing these base burners. Because obviously that's my win condition, is if I can hold off for like another 9 minutes. Or maybe get an extraction somehow, but that'd definitely be a bit of a Hail Mary. I'm not gonna lie though, guys. This is not looking great. But, you know. Air's gonna launch too. Obviously, Air maybe has a chance of killing these BRs as well. This is a throw though, like I don't know where these LEVs are going, because they need to be here, they need to be stopping extractions. Gunship, oh, so smart. This is actually like a really good play here, because obviously this is exactly like, this is totally just gonna like destroy my win condition, right? If he just has a gunship come out and just own me. Yep, there we go. I do have air still though, so I mean like, maybe if I split here, maybe, you know? Gunship does go down, actually, so it doesn't really get any damage done, but he's bought enough time. There's AVs out now. Like, I really should have been out there faster. And again, you gotta realize, actually, those BCs are gonna hurt these strike craft quite a lot, so, like, we can't even just, like, win like that, you know? So. Uh-oh. These guys are flying pretty close to the sun. Ooh, they're gonna live, though. But like, look, I'm checking for bases. Like, what the heck does economy matter? Like, I need to focus on artifacts only. Like, this is definitely a bit of a throw here. I mean, I shouldn't call it a throw because I'm not winning, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not the right play. Triple extract means game over, so like, I have to stop one of these. This is Desperado time. Desperado. If Power 4 finishes, we can rush. Whatchamacallit? If we can rush like a oh geez, microwave emitter, like maybe that can help, but I don't know, I don't think we're gonna get it. We should definitely be clicking on this thing. No assault pack, whee! But yeah, these LEVs just committing in way too late. Nope, nope. And that is going to be the double extract for Orbnet, and he will take this one. And that's going to make it 1-1 for this group stage. And Orbnet does manage to get one of the games off me, so that's very well done for him. He has 11 BCs right now, guys. Wait, doesn't he? Why is one of them different? Oh, because that's actually like a targeting jammer, right? He has 10? Do I even know how to count? 8 plus 2, wow. Oh no, wait. Yes, 11, look at that. Haha, I knew it. I mean, that's a lot of firepower. This must be like fleet capacity off of just like BCs. It's crazy. Well, hope you guys enjoyed watching my demise.